Not quite sure where that was going. I just kind of thought, I always have songs running through my head. You might recognize that one. It was like a precursor to, oh, can we fake this out? Anyway, first one was Jethro Tull. That was, of course, some obscure tune by the Eagles. But interesting chord progressions. That's not what I want to talk about today. Sorry, those were just running through my head. Matter of fact, I always have a lot of songs running through my head, and then I grab the guitar and start trying to play them. Oh wait, it is January 24th. I should be able to remember these dates. January's almost, well, we have one more whole week in January, and many times I get kind of stuck on an artist, and I start listening to a bunch of their stuff, and it kind of brings up sometimes obscure tunes of theirs that I missed. Like, for example, a few weeks ago, I was talking about Gordon Lightfoot, playing some of his tunes, like actually maybe a month or two ago now. I was sort of on a Gordon Lightfoot kick, and then I was thinking about some songs of his I should do. Saw a great request on the forum this week to do a slightly later song of his, one from the 80s called Tattoo from the Salute album. And I kind of forgot about that song. Went back and listened to it. I thought, this is a cool tune. It opens up, it's in A. He's probably capoed at the second fret in G. But it does something like, oh, it's in 3. Never mind. I'll save that for another day. But I appreciate getting that request on the request a lesson or recommend a lesson thing. Kind of put me on a left over from my Gordon Lightfoot phase of a few months ago. And then a month or two ago, it was a Stills phase. And now I've got 3 or 4 Stills songs kind of under construction. They keep getting sidetracked and delayed. But this week, it was tunes like this. Or listened to a lot of Cat Stevens lately, and it makes me appreciate him even more. Here it is, 50 years later, or something like that. So anyway, I encourage you to go back and listen to, or even check out some of the Cat Stevens lessons. There's The Wind, Moon Shadow, even one that was a bigger hit for other people. First Cut is the Deepest, later done by Sheryl Crow and Rod Stewart, I think, yeah, they all did that. But some great tunes. Been re-listening to the main 3 albums of his. What I consider the 4th one, which was called Catch Bullet 4, is when I started. I guess it was not listening as much, but the 3 main ones, Mona Bone Jakon, Teaser and the Firecat, and T for the Tillerman, in the opposite order as far as I think sequenced, but have just great tunes on it. So anyway, all right, that's my Cat Stevens rant. The other thing I wanted to talk about today, I think there were a lot of things. I was chord solos, because as you know, I just made up a couple right there that I hadn't really planned on playing. But I just love doing that, and it made me remember, or reminded me is a better term, I guess, that there are some great lessons that I've put up here. Well, I think they're great because I think there's a lot of information in them on creating your own. It's not Danny. The Star of the County Down is one of them. Something like that. Oh, must go to major. Anyway, there's a few lessons up here. I think the Can't Help Falling in Love is another one worth looking. Anyway, if you want to do kind of like what I do of making up chord solos, check out the package on chord solos. What else is in there? Here's something that I was looking for. I thought I remember doing one on the Everly Brothers tune, "Let It Be Me," and so I did a search for Everly Brothers, "Let It Be Me," and I only came up with the lesson that was on how to strum it and accompany it. And I realized, I thought, you know what, I think I did a solo version of that. And so this is just like housekeeping or how to navigate here at TG. If you want to see the instrumental arrangements of tunes as opposed to like the way the band did it, like Here Comes the Sun. If we want to learn Here Comes the Sun the way the Beatles did it, that's listed under Beatles. If you want to learn my instrumental versions, whether it's a solo or even there's the slack key one, they're listed under me as the artist. So if you want to find the solo songs, go into the artist thing and select me, because that's just the way I decided to do it. So, matter of fact, let's talk about that a little bit. Here is one that I don't think I have a lesson on this yet. I might. So if you're just trying to piece together that let's do something different. Now let's take about that one. This is My Back Pages by Dylan. And what you really just have to do is get the chord progression down. So we got G to E minor to B minor to C to D to G. And then figure out the melody. There's pretty much approximately the melody. So then I take those notes and I think, okay, if I was singing it, da da da, those three Gs, the first two happen on the G chord. So and it takes up 2 beats. So I could grab it on the first beat and then hit another bass note. And now the third G, flames, happen just before the chord change. And so those two melody notes, the G and the F sharp, happen over the E minor chord, but the G is early. Then I put the F sharp in right on the third beat, on the fourth beat, with the second bass note. Then I got to get to a B minor chord, but the melody note on this B minor is an E. So you got to play your B minor chord with the bar not on the first string. So that's a little bit tricky because you got to, actually what you don't need, you never really need the bar. So I can play this B minor with just a B in the bass instead of the fake bar or the kind of hinged bar where I'm leaving the first string open. But I wasn't thinking that fast when I threw that together. Now that's a C chord to a D chord, and the melody note on the D is still an E. So I could play my D with just the E open. Now what I did earlier was I played the D up here so I could get more notes out of the D chord, Okay, well anyway, I didn't mean to turn this into a tutorial. Well, I kind of meant to just get you interested in doing stuff like that and encourage you to check out the Chord Solos pack. What else has been going on around here? Let's see, it was Cat Stevens. I did get to spend a little time over the last few weeks watching a couple of old Humphrey Bogart movies. And with kind of events of this week, hanging out with baby, having a birthday, and some things like that, I started getting sentimental about some tunes, and thought, here's one I used to play. I just started looking at this again. I started trying to resurrect this yesterday, so it's still kind of under construction. I'm thinking about the chord progression. Couldn't have figured out what it is yet. Now, if we had a spooky little intro, let me think about this. Ending on a dominant chord, so the song can start. Oh, but this song doesn't start on 1, it starts on 2. I gotta think about it. Nah, I'm just gonna try to play this and see what happens. I probably can't remember all the chords, or I might have to figure them out as we go. Typical of tunes from this era, 40s and 50s Tin Pan Alley stuff, we have an A-A-B-A section. That was the A section done twice. Now we're going to go into a B section with little transition. I'm playing this in the key of D, and it's going to go into the subdominant key, which is the key of G, chord 4. Ending a little different, I think. We want that one? No. Might have to finish that. Might have to really piece that together, but of course, from Casablanca. Well, the song was sort of lived on its own before that, I think. But that's as time goes by. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about today? I don't think so. We talked about Cat Stevens. We talked about chord solos. Anything new coming? Oh, yes. Just a quick little sideline. We do have a couple of openings still, two or three, for the spring camp. I wanted to restrict that to 20 people, and have had a couple of people who wanted to come that had spots for that now have let me know they can't make it. So if you're interested, you can sign up still at the IGC site. There's a link to it in the text down here below. If you want to grab one of the last two spots. I'm happy if we stick with the 16 or 17 or 18, whatever we have, but we are limiting that to 20, which is a great opportunity to be with a really small group and 5 teachers. Let's see, that's the 4-to-1 ratio of teachers to students if we hit all 20. So anyway, just a little sideline. Okay, let's see. What else what have I been playing lately? Let's see if I can end with this. This is a really bad idea. Been having some hand problems lately, and saw a doctor about it today, and they decided to stick a needle in my hand and see if some what was it called, Kenalog, I think, something like that. Wasn't sure which part I was going to do next. Let's try repeating that whole thing. Yikes. Every once in a while, that one kind of crosses my radar. That is Sylvia from Focus 3, the third album by Focus, which was their album after the one that they kind of put them on the radio here, which was called Moving Waves back in 1971, maybe 72, something like that. Anyway, Jan Ackerman, one of my favorite guitar players. The tune was written by Thijs van Leer, the keyboard player, but okay. That is all I have to say this week. Hope you enjoy some of those tunes and think about working on putting together some of your own solos, and listen to more Cat Stevens and Gordon Lightfoot and Stephen Stills and all those other guys.